So welcome back to another episode of the Vote In Vlogs. Last we left off, we were stuck probably 1,000 or so, and in this 1-3 game here in TCH Houston for $4,000. In his first hand of importance, we have Queen Jack offsuit and the +1. Under the gun makes it 15. We call small blind and big blind call. Four players to the flop, which comes Jack 7 deuce all clubs, and it checks to me. I go ahead and bet $35 with top pair here. Small blind calls, big blind folds, and the under the gun calls. Three players to her turnaround, which is the deuce of diamonds, and the small blind leads for $150. Under the gun calls, and I go ahead and fold. I'll continue with the action here for you guys. The river's a 4 diamonds, and the small blind jams $150. Under the gun snap calls, and the small blind has Jack 4 of hearts, and under the gun flopped the nut flush with the ace 4 club. So we definitely saved money, and yeah, off to a rough start in this part 2 of the vlog. We're not giving up. The gains are juicy here. The stacks are deep. So we're going to try to get unstuck one way or another. Might be a grind, but we're going to try to do it. And the next hand of importance, we're going to be in the big blind. And we look down at King Jack offsuit. The +1 limps. The +2 makes it $20. The small blind calls, we call, and the +1 calls. Flop comes 10, 8, 6, 2 diamonds. It checks through. The turn's a 9 of spades. Small blind checks. We go ahead and elect to bet with our double gutter. A queen or a 7 here will make us a straight. The queen would be amazing if someone else has a jack. Obviously, we would be having the nuts. The +1 folds, and the +2 now makes it 105. Small blind folds. I think I have enough and good implied odds to call here if we get our straight. And the river is Bink, the queen of hearts. I go for $450 here. I bluffed him in another spot earlier for $450 as well, with Jack 9 of hearts on ace, queen, 3, king, king, 3 diamonds. And he called correctly there when I bluffed him. So here I go for the same bet. Maybe I could have gone for more. The +2 snap calls, and we obviously win, but it's actually sick because he had queen jack of diamonds. So he turned it with the redraw to the flush and blocks our queens. So we just get lucky here and somehow find a decent pot to climb back out of the hole for a bit. In this next one, we have pocket sixes in the cutoff, the +1, +2 limp. We go ahead and make it $20. Small blind calls, the big blind folds, the +1 folds, and the +2 calls. Three players now to a flop, which comes 6, 5, 3, rainbow. We flop top set. No one should really have 4, 7, or deuce 4 here. It checks to me, and I go for a sizing of $35. Maybe people will float with ace X or king X, but no one has anything, so both fold, and we pick up another small one. Moving right along, we have ace king offsuit in the hijack. Under the gun limps, +2 limps. Low jack makes it $25. We go ahead and 3-bet to 60, pop it up. The button calls, the low jack calls, and the under the gun and the +2 have folded. Three players to a flop, which comes queen, 8, 3, 2 clubs, and a heart. It checks through. There's no reason for us to continue c-bet here multi-way. Heads up, we could continue given range, but multi-way, don't want to just bloat the pot when we have ace high. The turn brings the king of hearts, so now we have top top. Low jack checks. We go for a sizing of $110, and surprisingly, both the button and low jack call. Three players now to the river, which is the 3 of spades. It's basically a brick. Pairs the board, so now we beat all the other king X hands that could think they're chopping with us, given that it's king 3, 3 with a queen kicker. Low jack checks. We go for $250, trying to get calls from both players. The button tank folds, and then the low jack tank calls. So when they tank like that, we know we're good, and we're able to take this one down. He even said that he thought we had ace king, and probably should be folding his king X there, but we're able to extract some value from a king from a relatively tighter player. In this next one, we have pocket sevens in the small blind. Under the gun limps, low jack limps, hijack limps. We're going to go ahead and make it $30. Big blind and under the gun call, and everyone else folds. Three players to a flop, which comes jack, 6, 3, 3 hearts. We do have the 7 hearts. We're just going to go ahead and check it here, though. The big blind checks. Under the gun bets $50. We're going to go ahead and call and peel a street, and the big blind folds. Turns a 3 of diamonds. I go ahead and check it. Under the gun bets $50 here. Once again, We're obviously live to a 7, and our heart possibly could be good. For that price, we're not going to fold just yet. So we go ahead and make the call. There is a 3 of clubs, and that means we fill up. So we go ahead and check it, and the under the gun now bets $100. That's too good of a price to fold ever. So if they have a jack, it is what it is. We go ahead and make the call, and the under the gun has queen 5 offsuit. So yeah, we take that one down. Didn't even have a heart, I believe, but yeah. Texas Card House, Houston, great games. Definitely gonna try to get unstuck in this one, guys. So that was a nice little donation from that player there, and then immediate next hand, pocket jacks on the button straddle, 5 limpers to us. We go ahead and pop it up to $50. The big blind calls and the +2 calls. That's the same player with the queen 5 offsuit. Flop is 5-5-4 rainbow. And the big blind, who is that queen 5 offsuit player, just goes ahead and open rips $311. The +2 folds, and our hand's just too good to fold here against this type of player. So we go ahead and make the call. They have a 5. It is what it is. The turn is the queen of spades, and the river is the ace of spades. It's a terrible run for us, and he shows ace 3 offsuit. So a little bit frustrating. We basically double him back up from the money we took prior in the hand. Yeah, he had a gutter ball with ace high and catches ace. So we move on, and hopefully we can get unstuck from these types of players. Next hand, we have pocket queens, low jack, +2 opens $20. We go ahead and 3-bet to $60, and everyone folds. So bit of a frustrating situation, but we'll take the wins where we can. In this next one, we look down at ace king of spades and the +2. Always a beautiful hand to look down at. Under the gun opens for $20. We have an easy 3-bet to 70 and gets back to the under gun, who calls. Flop is ace king 10 rainbow. We flop top 2 pair. Kind of a wet board though, because queen jack means that we are behind, looking for 4 outs. But we're going to try to extract value where we can. Under the gun checks. We go ahead and bet $55 down betting. The under the gun makes the call. Turn is the 10 of diamonds. So now any 10x hand also beats us, like jack 10 or queen 10. Under the gun checks once again, however, and there's still a few hands we can get value from, like ace queen, ace jack, any ace x that thinks they're chopping, playing the ace 10-10 king board. So we go for 165, and the under the gun makes the call again. River's the 10 of clubs. So yeah, we're happy about this, but we're also sad. Any hand we were getting value from is now chopping with us. And if we were behind, we were probably just going to check it back anyways. Under the gun does check, so we just check, and under the gun has ace jack of diamonds. So one of those value hands we were going to try to go for value for on the river. And yeah, unfortunate session today. In this hand, we have 8-7 offsuit and the hijack, the +1 limps. We make it $20. The button, who is that action player that crushes my jacks with his ace 3 offsuit, makes the call, and the rest of the players fold. Trying to get revenge here against this player, heads up to a flop which comes 8-5 deuce rainbow. We flop top pair. We go ahead and lead for $30, and the button calls. Turns a 6 of spades, so now we have open-ended with our top pair. We go for a 2/3 sizing of $60, and the button raises us to $200. So he has a lot of 2 pairs and sets here. We're going to go ahead and make the call, trying to bank on the river and get some more implied odds, given that he has 400 behind. And yeah, the river is the 9 of hearts, bink. We go ahead and jam. We don't want him to check back with his 2 pairs and sets, given that this is obviously a very scary card on the river. And he somehow tanks for a very long time before making the fold. Very unfortunate, as he's not giving action when we want him to, and he gives too much action and somehow gets there when we want him to. But it is what it is, and we'll take this one down and just call it a session. What a session. We got here at fucking 1:30 p.m. basically, and I'm pretty sure it's like, let me check the time, it's
Yeah, 1:10 a.m. So we played for 12 hours, basically, close to 12 hours. Obviously saw in part one, we got crushed. We were bluffing too much, called way too light, and then we had to climb ourselves out a big hole. We were stuck most of the session in this 12-hour session. I want to say we were stuck for 9 hours, down somewhere between 700 to 1200 the entire 9 hours. And then finally, after that 9-hour mark, we started climbing back up, and then finally in the black. And then obviously hit a few speed bumps along the way in the last 3 hours of the session, but we were able to end up plus $100 in the game for 4K, out of the game for 4103. That's a profit of $103. So can't be mad about it after being stuck 1200. So yeah, it's always a grind, but the action's always good at TCH Houston, and I'm sometimes at great action. But if you guys like this video, please do hit the like and subscribe button. It means a lot. I appreciate it a lot. As always, thanks for following along, you guys, and I'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.